Hello, you're watching Ellie from Ellymentry Papercrafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. I need to make a box for a birthday gift, and I've decided to use some of our new products, and that's the Shimmer Paper. This comes in a pack of, I think it's 12 sheets, and there are 3 different colourways. I'll just quickly show you. I know I've showed this before. If you haven't seen it, there's the black and silver, the evergreen and gold, and this one's Cajun Craze and pumpkin pie. So my box needs to be 5 3/4 inches square and 1/2 inch deep. So I've taken 2 pieces of cardstock and cut them at 6 3/4. I'm using the thick card, and I find it easier to score the thicker card on a scoreboard rather than the trimmer because the tracks are deeper. So the scoring's very, very easy for this one. It's simply score 1/2 inch all the way round because that's the depth of the box I want. So just move all the way round on that 1/2 inch mark. Like so, and that's my box base. Now for the lid, it needs to be slightly larger over the area of the top, but I cut the cardstock the same size, and if I just bring it in slightly from the edge here, just a tiny little bit, and measure that 1/2 inch, and do that all the way round. So butt it up to the side and then bring it back very slightly. Oh, I went off the track there, but don't worry. Just start back up at the top. So just by moving it in very slightly, what you're doing is reducing this area here and slightly increasing that area, so this piece will fit over the top of our base. If I hold it up like this, you might be able to see it's only very slightly, but multiply that tiny bit by 4 and it gives you just enough for the lid to fit on the base. Okay, so as always, when you're making a box, any 3D construction, the most important thing is to make sure you get these creases very, very crisply burnished with your bone folder. Okay, and then I always do a square box in the same way, and that is always work on the bottom right hand corner. So I start by cutting up like that, and I've cut off that piece there where I've scored, and then I'm just going to cut up a little tiny wedge from that corner and then turn it 180 degrees and then do exactly the same here. Sorry, 90 degrees. Turn it 90 degrees. And then the last one. And now another very important thing when you're making boxes is always to use a strong wet glue. This will be much better than any tapes, unless you can find, there are some tape runners that are designed to be extremely strong, but I just find it easier to have one glue that I can use for everything, and for me that is the Tombow multi-purpose glue, which I pop into these dispensers. And I just go around and put some glue on each tab and then feed it up to meet the other one and put a peg on it. And I just make sure that this is that right angle is perfect, and that will ensure that you get a square box. So you put that aside to dry, and then we do exactly the same for the lid. By the time you've finished the lid, the base should be dry. So I'm just checking, and that's all fine. Now, to decorate the top, I'm taking my piece of shimmer paper, and this measures 5.5, which is 1/4 of an inch smaller than my box. So that'll give me an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Now I want to ensure that I get my design centrally on here. So I've taken some of my grid paper and a couple of pieces of tape, and I've taken my grid paper and I've measured the halfway mark here, which is 2 3/4. That's half of 5.5, and I've done it both ways and done this lovely big line so I can see really crisply where the centre is going to be. So if I pop my paper right into this corner here, dead straight, and stick it down with my tape, and I'm going to bring on my decoration. Now this was made using the Fabulous Frames dies. Now I will add a link to a video where I showed you all the cuts I made with this die, set. It was really, really, really good. Now, I didn't know I was creating this when I cut the pieces out, but all I did was I put these 2 dies together and I left a tiny little bit of a gap in the middle. So I taped them together like so, and then I ran them through my die cut machine with some gold cardstock. And when I came to take them out, now what I was wanting to do was cut the corners out. These make little like photo corners. So it cut the corners out, but while it did that, it made this frame. And I just cut this around to make it an equal size. But this is the design, and I just loved this. And I thought, well, this is just a waste product really, but I can use this. So I've done another one, and I've cut it out using our double-sided adhesive sheet. So I cut the piece of foil out first, stuck it to some double-sided adhesive tape, and what that means is that after it cut, I can peel back the other side of the adhesive, and this is sticky now, so I don't have to put tiny bits of glue all over it, which could leak out onto the gold. So let's just pop that down again. So to position this, I'm going to use the lines I made here. So that's my corner. So if I take my ruler, I mean, do this by eye if you like, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I just like to get things spot on. So if I take my ruler and put it against this line here, I'm going to move this down until the 2 points are level, okay? And then I'm just going to keep my finger on that for a minute while I move my ruler about and put it on this downward line here. So the top's okay, that's okay. Just move it across, try not to move it up or down. And that is my point. That should be dead central now. So I'm just going to use that to stick it there while I peel off the backing of that adhesive. Okay, so then if I just fold that under and stick that down, I can then release this and carefully release that, and I should have my design in the center. Now you do not have to be this precise, believe me, okay? It's just that I'm a perfectionist, and if I look at this later and it's not in the middle, I'll be upset. Okay, the person receiving this probably wouldn't notice, but you know, we're all a bit funny sometimes, aren't we? So then these are the actual photo corners, if you like, that are produced by cutting from this. And I seem to be, oh, there it is. Thought I was one short then. Oh, I would have cried. Now, I'm going to use these in a bit of a creative way, of course. So I'm going to start with the two designs. There's one sort of like a filigree pattern, and this one's got all the borders, scored borders. They're both really beautiful. So I was just playing around with it after I'd cut it out on that initial cut, and I thought this would make a really lovely design. So I just started putting these in all sorts of different places until I found this. I liked this design. And it's really, really simple, but just, I think, very effective. So you place all of those pieces, and then these fit really nicely in between. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel off the backing from the adhesive and stick all these down in place at the end, like so. And then just fit that into the top like so. And I'm just going to work my way round with all the pointed pieces first. So then you've got a really nice design. Okay, now you can choose whichever way up to have this on your box. You could have this at the bottom or at the top. It's up to you. So that's the design for the top of our box. And then the moment of truth, let's remove the pegs. This is all dried now. And the top should fit onto the bottom really snugly, like so. That's really worked well. And then we're just going to pop this on the top so that it leaves that lovely 1/8 of an inch border all the way round. So I'm going to use my Tombow. And then I'll turn it upside down for a few minutes just to let that dry off. So that's had time to dry, and that's our finished box. And just to recap, we used the Shimmer Paper. That's from our mini catalogue, which is current now until the end of December. And that's on page 41. So it's here. And then from the annual catalogue, the dies, which look like this on the page. And that's what they look like in the pack. Now there will be links to both those catalogues in the description box below. And if you'd like to purchase any products I've used today, or in fact any products from the current catalogues, then there's also a link to my online store. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you share this video. Give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, I'd really love it if you did. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and when I do that, there will be a giveaway of a stamp set, brand new stamp set. So yeah, okay, more news about that nearer the time. So I hope you come back to watch me again. And once again, thank you very much. Bye-bye.